gold, and green, and a black star in the center, representing the freedom of Africa. Ghana, Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay, the 6th of March.
Akwaba.
Congratulations from Haile Selassie was proudly received by everybody.
Akwaba.
When the Gold Coast successfully get their independence officially, Ghana is
Voice
the name.
to Mom.
We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay, the 6th of March, Independence Day.
Patrol, YouTube. So one check commenter. I cannot mention her name. Lady P. Akwaba.
Dr. Nkrumah went out his way to make the Gold Coast what it is today. He endeavored continually to bring us freedom and liberty. Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay, the 6th of March, Independence Day. The doctor began as agitator, then he became popular leader.
Nana Brew.
He continued to go further, and now he is Ghana's prime minister. Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay, the 6th of March, Independence Day.
March celebrations.
National flag
right?
is a lovely sea with beautiful colors, red, gold, and green, and a black star in the center, representing the freedom of Africa. Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay, the 6th of March, Independence Day.
Namji, Kwekwajiman, Moana, Professor Wagon, Wabukansi.
Congratulations from Haile Selassie was proudly received by everybody. He particularly comments on the doctor's move to self-government. Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim, we will be jolly, merry, and gay.
Professor Wagon, Mr. Bobo Buku, on the Waban. In your friend twice. Muguni, Mintimanfa, now fall back. Missy down. My mom 1 second. Yabakasa, Mankasa Mafro, Mankadafa.
This big city is mixed and lively.
Said Maba. Oha. Aya in him the sacrifices I make. I am a very extremely busy human being. My Lord, Akwaba. Akwesipoko Akwaba, Rash Costero Akwaba. Yes, my dear sisters. Friend Rash. 60 independence. I say independence in quotation. I will explain why. Independence. We are celebrating what I want to discuss. So it's not my fault. That should just tell you Obi amutu mutu ka no ba ufi. Say from my phone do. Not in Yama. When I tell you that I am extremely busy, I squeeze time to see you. Maybe now you are. Most of my fan come out from Huni Pa, but Murienda, I'm trying to my friend. I really are. In the direct friend, no, Mr. Fees, when a exactly perfect time. Macawani, Banama phone here. So you can imagine. Okay. because I was already doing something else whilst I was eating. Ami, my topic in mine. The black man is not. The black man is not capable of managing his own affairs. Like, I want some advice before he visits me today. And I said, I will call you today. And I just want you to know that when I drive to your house, it is because it must be dire. Because who pen will phone to crack a woman is my driver about flipping. So anyway, anywho. Um 68 years ago, and yan spend it cry. One casa give me your off the top of your head. How much money do you think Ghana, former Gold Coast, and then we need to revert to? How much do you think Ghana is going to spend on this supposed independence? Why do I say supposed independence? Well, let's first define independence. This was not part of what I wanted to do. Independence. Akwaba YouTube. Unfortunately, if you don't write a comment, I don't know who is here. Independence meaning or say the fact or state of being independent. Argentina gained independence from Spain in 1816. How many times have you heard Argentina go to the IMF? Let's see if the Argentina has ever gone to IMF. Share my mind. Hey, Kevin Taylor. Almighty Kevin. Hey. Abena myself, Austin Moira, you are too fine. You and I need to experiment. I'll give you a call. I'm a virgin when it comes to LGBTQ. Abena. Who said Abena for the just say we are born my main just why I say me sexual content Abena. Oh, I say Abena, be careful who you make friends with. Hey, who now would throw a dog me so sano and then Thursday and then point it Tuesday. Now Abena Abasano. Okay. So, Argentina, Pacho, have they ever gone to IMF? Muntie, Argentina, Almost penny no. Argentina joined the International Monetary Fund, IMF, on September 20th, 1956. Akai afi baako ma ya bedi mpeninsam say ye independence. We are capable of managing our supposed affairs. Na Argentina wa pim abna ya just na Argentina kwaji independence a pimpan. Emma wa joining ekuo bi efre no IMF. Kwame Nkrumah Mpeninsemura. Oh, Abuna, thank you so much for sharing my life. Kwame Nkrumah, 6th March 1957. Mpeninsemura. Show onu oko school wa abrochire. Ena omo chire na ade wa abrochire. Rati, thank you so much. Ena Kwame Nkrumah nti opeso kasa oti abrochire no na broni nim na adwen omo man mre. Yes, sorry, and now yes say if I was Ratty, if you were here yesterday, I would have gotten my goal. Thank you so much. Flash goal, me the my wife. Thank you so much. Also, congrats. Ratty lit up roses. Ooh. What do you mean? Kwame Nkrumah. Oko school wa brochire. Oko school wa brochire. Broni Mami hwe Kwame Nkrumah ni history. Kwame Nkrumah no oko benefit fi broni ho wie na obeka kire me ne wo say yen gi ehun free. Hey, dey be dan kwa boae o. Oboae pa so oboa ma yi akwa we fi ho. Me gidie no, and I am entitled to my lunatic brain. Oh, ratting ya abna competition. Hey, mo mama me flash go, abna why ni na. Me say e de bia me imagine say me call LGBTQY. Uwo kuno, uwo mo. Wala na me fantasy. Adwene nya. Muntie. Argentina joined the International Monetary Fund on September 20th, 1956, and has since participated in 21 IMF agreements. Pepacho. Argentina almost joining in 1956. Na yenji independence po. Yeji awabna. Yeji independence ni wiye no awabna. Mama fa go no when. Yeji independence ni wiye no. Ena 5 members of the community to do what? Yeji independence ni wiye 1957, 1966. Behind. And yes, you are joining IMF. Muamuchi mope papa ne friend say muamope papa ne friend say Nkrumah muamope Nkrumah asem no bepacho. Do you also enjoy IMF? Because I'll be confused. It was Nkrumah who said the black man was capable of managing his own affairs. Such stupidity. Since okay, so Pacho, Argentina, is it let's confirm if Argentina is an African country so that we can see if the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of the African continent. So let's go and see. Argentina, is it an African country? Well, if you know it and you are faster than Google, please. Fasha Homan. Is Argentina, an African country. Media mabon mama Google. Let's Google. I'm not that smart. Let's go. Oh, Nassau. Argentina is a vast country in South America, not Africa. This country is in North America. Onumpo, it is not, she is not my friend, long time not seen. Because I say doom so kumia, Rebecca say me propaganda. Ba me bompa yese nyankopon na oni na do dankwa na mo a otumi ma na do dankwa omu de omu ma power ni si so sa nyankopon no mesrɛ ma de omahama aban eno na metumi aka ena se tina we si dai me bob dey edim sika nyina to international students institution enti senka mo ye into boya mami anka enye mo mami starting stress sika o. And then 6 March, mini cancer, mini leukemia so. Me no treatment. This is by choice. Mini sika amde Kotobon Street. I have cut down according to my quote. This one woman. Oh. Unwana wa mam love hana. Salama watona one fama momo 0055. I am shamelessly going to give my number here for Momo. Somebody so dear to my life told me amidst the squabble that, oh, Mam Jino, Abaza, Moody worried to internet to do. So I better put that to use. And you are so pretty. Oh, Abena. Oh, say, Dama fool. My boss 055 no. Mofa 988 in Kahu. Abena. Namudi 988 in the Kahu we are. Now Mabo 1542. My phone number na utia obeti. Pacho. Pacho domi enough. $1 per $1 per show per. Ebesumi. Yes, we per show. Me pane papa ye per show ti nioma me no. Mema mu. Ah no. Happen okay. Unse me block is na for her. It's because TikTok is to the side of the screen and they are sending so much love. So please don't be jealous, YouTube. Do your best and you would get recognized accordingly. Free case. Okay. Rati, I mean. So wait. Today, our children, grown as civil servants, and Kwokranim reward true ni omo tweso ni omo kote echire nyina wife go. Bobo kweke jina ewiem. John Mahama kan. Onye sari gbofunu vice president. Bobo kweke jina. We take salute of stupidity. Oh, I'm telling you. Because the purpose for which Kwame supposedly went to fight with the wise Queen Elizabeth, who said Victoria. I don't know which one was on power. Kwame Nkrumah has done us a disservice, so because Kwame Nkrumah's belief was that we are capable of managing our own shit, but you and I know that is a fantasy, as though you are watching Pornhub. Now I can search for fantasy of. Please, the women who are chastising were from Red and then Jata, no, gay for no. I want to ask a question. Does that mean that I need to enjoy looking at the lesbians make me gay, or what is the word for me? Which letter will I be? LGBTQIT. No. Where will I belong? Oh, and I don't like looking at black chicks. I don't like I'm a black chick. I have black pussy. I've seen it all my life. I like the. Oh, sorry, I have digressed. So, if that makes me whatever, mind yourself. You lie to yourself. That's your business. Ọmụ share them one. No more should I so when we say I question the girl and you true but true na fiao. In the brain. I have digressed off my topic. So, Argentina is a country in South America, not Africa. It is the second largest country in South America and the 8th largest in the world. Argentina cannot manage their own affairs. How dare we? But we have a human rights activist lawyer, former president, who I don't know how Nana is oblivious to the fact that he shouldn't have gone campaigning or being an activist asking and demanding an apology when he should have been focused on what happened to the supposed African slaves that the supposed Europeans took. And Nana, with all brofo and slangs, will not let us know that it was our ancestors who did more evil deeds. See, such much should, in my opinion, be abolished. Why? Because we didn't get any freaking independence. What the fuck is the meaning of independence? Say one kasa ubebu ibo amembunu fawaze. One kasa is one amazing. Asha at operating. How many times do the Westerners that we go to the IMF for, how many times do they come to Africa to borrow our money? I don't give a fuck if they are duping us supposedly. If you don't sell your products to them, where in Africa are you going to sell to yourselves? We are shithole countries. Those of us who are as alert as I am, those of us who are living in the diasporas, stop concentrating on micro politics, which means just concentrating on NDC, MPP, because the issues that we're having, which has resulted to having our people get repatriated, stems from this thing. They are going to stand in the sun, use money Ghana does not have to commemorate such stupidity, because believe you me, we never got any independence. You are not ashamed to claim independence? 68 years. You go to parks, you march, you take salutes of supposed honor. Then the next morning, the president of the country, who stood there for you to respect him, that he and his ancestors, they have given us some supposed independence, they will crawl on their knees using their buttholes, pussy holes, oral, whatever they have to do, selling slaves, giving them our minerals. If an African could manage his own affairs, why the fuck do we have to depend on even the Westerners to be able to say we have something of substance? Because without the Western world, our gold, diamond, all our minerals are useless. Who the fuck will you sell them to? They control because yeah. The white man never started building castles to house, what do you call them, slaves. No. They were trading in our minerals. How many of us are willing to emphasize on this history? How many of us? You're going to celebrate some stupidity today because we are not independent. We have never been independent. If Argentina, which is a South American country, is with IMF, they took in supposed independence in the 18th century. Okay, so let's go on. Send your children to go and continue the lie by standing in the sun, marching in front of corrupt leaders who don't give a fuck about them, especially because of digitization and the social media presence now. All of these motherfuckers are going to have their personal and official pages live, broadcasting, then standing there taking salutes of nonsense. Oof. What again is the independence of the meaning of independence? And what are Ghanaians celebrating independence over, if we do understand independence? The fact of state of being independent. Self-government, they call it. Ah. Hey, Sister March na Kwame Nkrumah kɔgye fahodie maa yɛn. Do you know what freedom looks like? Ghana for independence. Freedom from being governed or ruled by another country. Kwame Nkrumah went to fight the British because he wanted the British to give Ghanaians freedom from being governed. In fact, Gold Coasters, not Ghanaians, because that wasn't our name then. Kwame Nkrumah went the main activist. Freedom from being governed or ruled by another country. We didn't want to be ruled by another country, but we were selling our own siblings to other countries when the slave trade was still in progress. Independence. Mexico gained independence from Spain in 1821. Mexico. Now, listen to independence before we go and see if Mexico is an African country. Good morning, beautiful. Akwala Kofi. Medase. Before we go and see if Mexico is an African country, we went to check. Argentina is not an African country. Argentina took independence in the 18th century, but Argentina joined IMF and they have gone there 21 times. Ghana took independence a year after Argentina. They were joining IMF. Kwame Nkrumah said, Ian, we can manage our own affairs. In your own opinion, are we capable of managing our own affairs? Let's limit this conversation to just even Ghana, regions in Ghana. Okay, so independence is a get off my screen. the ability to live your life without being helped or influenced by other people or countries. Hey. Elizabeth Yeboah, good morning, my dear. Otiden. Abner Teddy Akwaba, Bismarck Akwaba. Muntio. Independence na yakwa celebrating no. Ni meaning they say we have the ability to live our life without being helped. Yenya IMF. Yenya, we should really be Ghana beyond aid. We should not be influenced by other people or countries. So, do you think we should be celebrating in any independence today when we are glued to IMF? Now let's check if Mexico. Let's see if Mexico is an African country. Mema bon into Google. Google Mexico. Oh shit. So I'm checking. Is Mexico an African country? And tell me. Who can tell me the capital of Inquiry? Mexico, officially the United Mexican States, is a country in North America. So pay attention. Argentina, when we read, is South America, and Mexico or Mexico is North America. It borders the United States to the north and Guatemala and Belize to the southeast, Ocean to the west, the Caribbean Sea to the southeast, and the Gulf of Mexico to the east. So Mexico country, in fact, they should even be better. And yes, in Mexico, almost IMF now. Has Mexico ever taken money? Oh, okay. Listen again. Mexico. Yeah, can't want to say me. I want North America. Yes, in Mexico joined the international and Sagana Sempanie. Empeni Sempanie. Anamu demu. Six March live. Even though be you too high. Morning. Theo. Mexico, unhwe baby ewo. Wo fro border no pe ujina America. Argentina, unhwe baby o. And omukoji independence. And wow, couple of years or at least a year before koji independence. These people which indicated that even Zandra Apaba, official queen Apaba, even Argentina, South America, and Mexico, North America, they could not manage their own affairs. But while they couldn't manage their own affairs a century before, and they were now joining the IMF, Kwame Nkrumah, in his wisdom, was telling the IMF world that we can manage our own affairs. When you don't know that, you don't know. So, what are we going to celebrate today, really? I want to know. You people think we should still celebrate some supposed independence? Are we really independent? We go to IMF, don't we? Now, IMF, they have conditionalities. They have rules and regulations. Oh, let me see. What are the conditions for the IMF? When a country borrows from the IMF, the government agrees to adjust. The government agrees to adjust its economic policy to seek financial assistance. We are seeking financial assistance 17 times after independence, and we are still celebrating independence. Do you see how we are fucking up the minds of our little ones? And when you talk the way I'm talking, they will say, because of we, one in Tampi. Thank God in Tampi is giving me this insight. Thank God in Tampi has awoken my. I know you want us to go and read the independence of Ghana is meaningless. It is meaningless. The independence of Ghana is meaningless, period. It should not go beyond that point. The independence of Ghana is meaningless because, hey, these policy adjustments are conditions for IMF loans and help to ensure that the country adopts strong and effective policies, which means without the IMF screwing common sense into our leaders who claim they can manage their own affairs, to tell them that if you don't do this the way we are saying this way, this is what is going to happen. We took independence from the white man so that we can go and borrow money and he can show us how to use it, or else we don't get it. Why the fuck did we not just shut up and stay with them for them to rule us? You think it will be a crime for us to actually take to the streets and beg our supposed colonial masters to come back? They should come back. I really strongly think so. Oh my God. Before the colonial masters, our kings were selling us. Our queen mothers, they were selling us. Our kingsmen. It was your penny for no more toying. Answer Broniba. Broniba and your yen before and air fighting for the abolition of slavery. Abrofuna air fighting. Bronina or tall slaves, Ojina mpuano, ojina ni ship and a woo busia for all my chum so dry if he's selmuban no abotano. Today, we are going to celebrate the most stupid event, which keeps causing us problem generation after generation after generation. What independence are we going to celebrate today? What independence? What independence? Independence from what? From who? If your ancestors are not going to tell you the truth about those who bought us and sold us, you have no business celebrating any stupidity. When your government, right after this stupid march pass, are going to go sit in their offices, Atofossin is going to be looking for, what do you call it, IMF. Abena, isn't it sad? Abena, isn't it sad? But we're going to waste part of the IMF money they gave us to celebrate stupidity. Which independence are you celebrating today, John Mahama? Nanado, which independence were you celebrating? For which reason you had them so much impetus to go and demand some freaking apology and reparations? We are evil. We are not independent. We were born independent, but because we were so evil amongst ourselves, we got people who were ruling us as they keep ruling us. When you take your IMF, they tell you what to do with that. And you oblige. We are our own enemies, Abena. When the IMF white man and woman tell you, when you go to your country, make sure you do A, B, C, D. You oblige. If not, they won't give you the money. And you still want to claim you are smart and wise and competent and capable enough to manage your own freaking affairs. Which affairs are we talking about here? Which affairs? Which affairs? CPP could not hold the center together. CPP, where would it? So let's see. What is the IMF agreement with Ghana? IMF approves $360 million for Ghana as economic recovery gains momentum. Oh, yeah, Mobo. We are going to celebrate independence. You should be ashamed of yourselves. We should be ashamed of ourselves. If your child was not picked to march, thank God, because it's a blessing. What freaking independence? We need to go and beg the white people to come and take care of us. Why? They are giving us money through IMFs. They're giving us aid. And they're giving us visas that we are obviously dying to lose. We don't want to lose our visas. We don't, do we? Do we? Why is it that they are asking you to leave their countries and now they are evil for asking us to leave their countries? So if we want to rapport with them that much, why don't we all come together and petition the change of history, rewriting history to have everybody accountable, responsible for their portion, so that we can really heal honestly, in pure honesty, not in propaganda and lies. Then, of course, these white people that we have for centuries labeled evil, that we keep going to, who don't go to refer us to the fact that we have been telling our entire generation that they are evil, but they still for 17 times come to our aid through IMF. You still want to join your government to go and say foolishness to these people so that they can sack you from their countries. Are you very happy that they are getting you deported? I'm not happy. But when push comes to shove, I will tell my family people, well, we caused this, so better pack and come. Is it going to be easy? No, it's going to be difficult as hell. But we should have thought of all of that before we try so hard to maintain the lie. Keep passing. Oh, Ghana for cool or the idea. Whoa, we are now as you know, because at the end of IMF executive board 360 million disbursement to Ghana under its 3 billion extended credit facility ECF program. You see, it's more sad. It's more sad when we know for a fact that Ghanaians in the diaspora remitted $4 billion in 12 months to this same country, whilst this country was begging for 3 billion from the International Monetary Fund, the people we took independence from. Our own natives living in those countries where they are now being repatriated. They had money enough from these evil people's countries to send into our foolish ass shithole country economy. $1 billion more than we are still begging the IMF for. And we are going to celebrate some supposed independence today. I am gnashing at my teeth. The International Monetary, this was December 4th, 2024. The International Monetary Fund IMF Executive Board has approved a $360 million disbursement to Ghana under its $3 billion Extended Credit Facility ECF program. Following the successful completion of the third review of Ghana's performance. Come and review, sir. Someone can say, yeah. We are going to celebrate independence. Disbursement to 1.92 billion since the program began. But in 12 months, only 12 months, Ghanaians in the diaspora remitted $4 billion into this country. The Ghanaians in the diaspora are our biggest source of revenue, but they are the ones who have no say in governance. Do you remember Jachi Kwesi? We are not prioritizing right. We are chasing foolishness. Kevin Taylor is not too ugly, but Kevin. Now that is the topic. No, those of you in the diaspora, sit up. Listen. Take measures. Those of you in the diaspora, you rule this country. You can rule this country. You can change shit in this country. Sikana kromuni nyina ekopeno. Mutumi sending money bro so $1 billion in 12 months. Yakoya yakopa achono. MPP free aban mu yensan kan 2 billion. Yeje 3 billion. But in 12 months, mu amuti abroche mu di 4 billion back from her. Ba mu so na mu ni say no. Ba mu na mbebe didi matem say, me na mi bie ni say, listen to the people in the diaspora. When you don't know what you have. This brings the total disbursement to 1.92 billion since the program began, with funds expected to be credited to the Bank of Ghana by the fund. This was announced by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, at the monthly press briefing where he indicated that the IMF commended Ghana for significant strides in economic recovery and reforms, noting improvement in growth, inflation, and fiscal stability. Enti omo bo mo aba so say nsem a yeka asam ye no my medis when say bibia yeka ma my ade. You have done well for listening to us, you stooges. And this is worthy of news. Hey, Ghana's performance under the program has been generally satisfactory. So Ghana's performance outside the program is generally horrific. And we claim that we are capable of managing our own affairs. Hello? Anybody home? Obi wo ho. Nkwakọ na otie. Miami ke wuti asie. Ghana's performance under the program has been generally satisfactory, and reform efforts are paying off. Reforms now, they are paying off. With ourselves, we can't do this. IMF have to tell us, but we are capable of managing our own affairs. No, we are not. No, we are not. Growth in recovering rapidly. Growth is recovering rapidly. Inflation has declined, though at a slower pace, and physical and external positions have improved, the IMF stated. Almost say, Yako Ghana, Yako share, Yama Omusikano, Yaka Som, Yanom Yeno. Say, this is the state of the nation. Bronina, you see, Aji independence when one I yakon was say, I yen to me managing your own affairs into your mind is causing more. Mamma Munamina Metram, I would be on seeing your became be a better food true. But today, we are going to march and continue this charade of being supposedly independent. Okay. Growth is recovering rapidly. Inflation has declined, though at a slower pace, and physical and external positions have improved, the IMF stated. Debt restructuring milestones. Ghana's progress in public debt restructuring was highlighted, with notable achievements including domestic debt restructuring, which was successful last year, official creditors agreement, which has reached a memorandum of understanding with the official creditors committee under the G20 common framework in June 2024, the Eurobond exchange, completing the exchange of Eurobond under conditions aligned with program parameters, and the external commercial creditors with ongoing discussions to ensure alignment with program conditions. Bronin beka na yeye. Bronin na yekwaji iskanu ono hono beka na yeye, but we are going to celebrate a supposed independence today. Independence from what? Monetary and financial stability. According to the minister, the Bank of Ghana continues to implement prudent monetary policies to reduce inflation and rebuild international reserves. Financial sector stability has been bolstered through measures such as recapitalization of banks and enhanced regulatory actions to ensure viability. He highlighted Ghana's restored macroeconomic stability and accelerated growth, with GDP reaching 6.9% in 2020, I think October 24, the highest in 5 years. We come and we say all these lovely things and claim credit, but if not for the International Monetary Fund, fuck will we be? You think we should be celebrating some independence? Freedom from what? What have we gained freedom from? The minister attributed this success to strong performances in the industrial, agricultural, and ICT sectors, as if it's with their money. Whew. We have in I'm quoting this, we have built back better, and we remain on a strong positive trajectory, he stated, while calling for peaceful and informed voting. What have you done? Without the IMF, what could you have possibly done? We are going to celebrate independence, but we are still begging IMF, doing everything they want us to do so that they can give us coins. How many times has Ghana, the independent country Ghana, the country in which we are so sure we can manage our own affairs, and told the Western world? Here he says, Ghana Web takes a look at the 17 times that Ghana has sought IMF bailout, with information provided on the fund's website, 1966 to 1969. The first IMF bailout request. The quest for financial freedom, devoid of multinational interference, seems to constantly come back to bite Ghana in the years past till date. Since Ghana gained independence on 6th March 1957 till today, the country has sought financial assistance from Bretton Woods institutions such as the International Monetary Fund for a whooping 17 times. 17 times. So, Sly Fox. Thank you, Felicia Boateng Akwaba. While there are constant public debates and conversations surrounding reasons for the cyclical return to the IMF and World Bank, Ghana's economic managers have somewhat failed in many areas which border on revenue generation, curbing loopholes in the tax systems, cutting down expenditure, and honoring debt obligations. Ghana is currently under an IMF program for the 17th time. Telling the white man, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. That Ghana, that IMF ridden Ghana, Francis Bawa Akwaba, Benjamin Kwabena Akwaba. The country is expected to receive an in tranches dollars bailout under an extended credit facility for a 3-year period. it will take 3 years for us to get this 3 billion. But Ghanaians in the diaspora, but these people go and ask Jachi question. They have to denounce their citizenships. Ghana crisis denounce. What is the denounce this year? Mankasa. Emmanuel Eni. Everybody Essien. Emmanuel Essien. Everybody Wedra. Ghana Web Business takes a look at the 17 times that Ghana has sought IMF bailout with information provided on the fund's website. 1966 to 1969. The first IMF bailout request from Ghana occurred in 1966. Yan 67 and we could not manage our own affairs. The first IMF bailout request from Ghana occurred in 1966 after the oversight the then national no. Standby agreement ended in 1967. Right after this, Ghana signs from May 20, on the 24th. Oh, okay. YouTube. Sorry. On the 24th of the same month. How Ghana? To make sorry. Right after this, Ghana sought financial assistance from IMF 3 times from May 25th, 1967 to May 24th, 1968, 1 year. And then from May, same year now, 1 year, May 28th, 1968 to May 27th, 1969, another 1 year. Also from May 29th, where they 2 days after 1969 to May 28th, 1970. Another IMF deal was agreed under a standby agreement. We had just said we were capable of managing our own affairs. Okay. 1979 to 1980. Due to an array of mismanagement, listen, those of you going to celebrate some supposed independence because we are capable of managing our own affairs. 79 to 1980, we went to IMF because it was due to an array of mismanagement, corruption, related acts, and coup. Ghana's economy derailed and the country went back to the Bretton Woods institution under the Ignatius Kutu Echampong regime. Okay. After the June 4 revolution, which saw the emergence of the late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings taking office, the economic situation took another downturn, forcing the country to seek IMF assistance. Okokroko Okumudom JJ Onyansa Paukrafo JJ Onumpo Oyeku na or cancel corruption or IMF. Jane for Esther to 1980. August 1983. Now, Ghana must go. Temu 92. Yaba started constitution. Yaba democracy. From August 3rd, 1993 to August 1994 to December 31st. December 31st in Couching. 15th, 1986. 88. High inflation led the country to depend on donor support for assistance from the world. Ghana, we can manage our own affairs for no. Yes, and the IMF to help address the situation till the then PNDC leader Jerry John Rawlings invited the IMF to help with a structural adjustment facility commitment in November 6th of 1987 and was extended in November 9th, 1988 till it ended in 1992. This is the country that are claiming we can manage our own affairs. Okay. 1995, to 2009. During this period, global financial organizations like the World Bank, the IMF, World Bank and the IMF, they embarked on debt cancellation measures. These are the white people who are evil. After they have been evil and giving us money, we're going to celebrate independence. During this period, global financial organizations like the World Bank and IMF embarked on debt cancellation measures, which resulted in the creation and enhancement of debt relief schemes under the HIPC. Highly good. Moka HIPC. The IMF during the period supported Ghana from June 30th, 1995 to May 2nd, 1999, and then also from May 3rd, 1999 to November 30th, 2002. We are independent. Okay. Ghana again went back to the IMF in 2003. Then President Bush's government, Ghana borrowed from the IMF between May 9th, 2003. Mokai May 9th. Mokai say May 9th at Toranchamo see Ghana. Yo. Hey, Kufuor's government, Ghana borrowed from, under Kufuor's government, Ghana borrowed from the IMF between May 9, 2003 and October 31st, 2006, and then returned in July 15, 2009 to July 23rd, 2012. We're capable of managing our own affairs now. Under 2015 to 2019, under the John Dramani Mahama administration, government, Ghana suffered a major power crisis known as Doomsor. And Ghana was forced to run to the IMF again, $1 billion, to strengthen the city and the ailing economy. Under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, The government requested a $3 billion loan aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability in the country, and among other reforms in the financial sector to address the current economic crisis. Ghana way and OD independence. No? Hello. Hello. Ghana when you independence. No? How do you feel? You think I'm doing too much? May say, if we are going to be happy that Kwame Nkrumah told the whites off and took a supposed independence from us, why are we not concerned about our chiefs, our elites who sold our ancestors as slaves? Why are we not questioning them? Why are we not going to go to them to get the truth and apologies so that we can celebrate that as the true freedom from ignorance? So which chief? Many chiefs in the Gold Coast, including rulers of Asante, Fanti, and Ahanta, were involved in the slave trade. Ooh, William Ansa Sasrakon. William Ansa Sasrakon. Wana na onyim. Yekedi freedom if William Ansa Sasrakon. We are misleading ourselves and our descendants. Was a prominent 18th century Fanti royal. Fanti royal. It was taking forever. It has opened. William Ansa Sasrakon. Shen. 1736 na one. No, 1770. He was a prominent 18th century Fanti royal and diplomat. Diplomat count. Best known for his enslavement in the West Indies and diplomatic mission to England. He was both prominent among the Fanti people and influential among Europeans concerned with the transatlantic trade. Fantini Wuzini. He was a public figure, a diplomat, and a slave trader. He was known for traveling to England as the Royal African. After his father, John Corrente, sent Ansa's brother to France, he sent Ansa to England to gain an education, carry as his eye and ears in Europe. Muntio. The ship captain, entrusted with Ansa's transport, however, instead sold him into slavery in Barbados before reaching England. Years later, a free Fanti trader discovered Ansa in Barbados and quickly alerted John Corrente of his son's fate. Corrente petitioned the British to free Ansa. So they could even petition the slave masters or the slave traders or whatever to free some of them. So they purposefully, intentionally sold the other slaves. Okay. He petitioned the British to free Ansa, and the British Royal African Company emancipated Ansa and transported him to England. In England, why they say you deport me? You deport you if you wherever they do in England and I won't pay. In England, on 1748, Ansa was received as a prince and gained the respect of London's high society. Ebi na yɛde yɛ maa mu yɛ maa mo nkrataa nso mo ani Ghanafoɔ. He gained respect of London's high society. Most notably, he watched a live performance of Orinoco, and much to the audience surprise, fled the theater in tears. The play depicted a wrongly enslaved African prince who likely reminded Ansa much of himself. Upon returning to Anomabo fa, saying that slaves upon returning to Anomabo, Ansa took up work as a writer at Cape Coast Castle. Enti saa time na Cape Coast Castle oni na no de omo tumi try letter ma Ansa de ye de ne sign by o ba nimpa kan de Ansa Sasraku. He kept telling them. The primary British fortification of the Gold Coast. He started writing at the Cape Coast Castle, the primary British fortification of the Gold Coast. After leaving Cape Coast on bad terms, Ansa worked as a slave trader. No, you didn't fix and kwasumaba. The details of his death are unknown. Of course, Obi Kuni Chini. Okay, so let's go back to this one. After Ansa Sasraku, let's see. After Ansa Sasraku, go back. Shoot. No. I'm coming on, Pawanjo. Mama, 1 minute, why? Maybe, baby. If we don't say the truth to ourselves, we'll keep being stupid and ignorant. Okay. So, after William Ansa Sasraku, we have the Asantehene, the king of the Ashantis, who was forced to abolish the slave trade after being exiled. He was forced to abolish it, which means he had no intentions of abolishing it. Isn't that sad? No, isn't that sad? Your own people who were fighting to not abolish it. My God. Many societies in Africa with kings and hierarchy form of government traditionally kept slaves, but these slaves, so they were mostly used for domestic purposes, not used for commercial gain. However, with the appearance of Europeans desperate to buy slaves for use in the Americas, the character of African slave ownership growing rich with slavery. In the early 18th century, kings of Dahomey, known today as Benin, became big players in the slave trade, waging tens of thousands, including another important slave trader, the king of Wida, the king Tegbesu, made 250,000 euros a year. That time, selling people into slavery in 1750. King Gezo said in the 1840s he would do anything the British wanted him to do apart from giving up slave trade. Montio, yeah, African king, or see. Oh. Whew. King Gezo said in the 1840s he would do anything the British wanted him. You are celebrating some supposed independence today from colonial masters, really? But you are living with your ancestors. The slave trade is the ruling principle of my people. It is the source and the glory of their wealth. The mother lulls the child to sleep with notes of triumph over an enemy reduced to slavery. This was a quote by our rulers. Some of the descendants of African traders are alive today. We need to find them. Muhammad Ibn of Baba Ato, also known as Babatu, it is a Babatunde, the famous Muslim slave trader who was born in Ghana in the 1880s. Raido Muhammad Ibrahim Babatu, the deputy head teacher of a junior secondary school in Yendi, lives in Ghana. In our curriculum, we teach a little part of the history of our land because some of the children ask questions. Babatu and others didn't see anything wrong with selling slaves. They didn't have any knowledge of what the people were used for. They were only aware that some of the slaves would serve others of the royal families with family feel he was ignorant. That's what they'll come and say. Oh no, nim say abrofo sa na omo beye. Enti na oton no. Really? we feel that what he did was fine because it has given the family a great fame within the Dagomba society. He gave some of the slaves to the Dagombas, hey, Eraze. And then he sent the rest of the slaves to the Salaga market. Into Salaga market, na slaves na what on Salaga market, no for slave trade. Whew. He didn't know they were going to plantations. He was ignorant. Imagine the foolishness. You are selling them and you want to say the young Africanus was amazed at the wealth and quantity of slaves to be found in Gao, the capital of Songhay, huh? Songhay, which he visited in 1510 and 1513 when the empire was at the height of As Askia Muhammad. Here, there is a certain place where slaves are sold, especially on those days when the merchants are assembled, and a young slave of 15 years of age is sold for 6 ducats. Ow! And children are also sold. The king of this region has a certain private palace where he maintains a great number of concubines and slaves. Swahili. The ruling class of coastal Swahili society sultans, government officials, and wealthy merchants used non-Muslim slaves as domestic servants and to work on farms and estates. The craftsmen, artisans, and clerks tended to by Muslims and freedmen, but the divisions between the different classes were often very flexible. The power slave and iron son of a slave. Also, Oba and Mob. My question again, what independence are we celebrating today? Because if you ask me, since we are so dependent on IMF, apart from Ansar Sasaku and the Ashanti King, John Kirby's another one was John Conny, Konny, was Tom, no broker involved in the slave trade. He was also a broker. What independence are we celebrating today? What independence? Hmm? We need to rethink. We need to relearn. We need to unlearn. We need to question our history. We need to be meticulous. We need to be very curious. We need to get to the bottom of the source. We have to stop just following bandwagon. Just just obeying because it's our elders, because it's our fathers, because it's our. We should stop. Who sold the slaves? Africans sold the slaves. Before colonial masters, were we not born independent? Yes. Were we not born free? Yes. Who was selling the slaves, African slaves, to the European merchants? Africans. Who fought to abolish the selling of slaves? The same Europeans. Who fought against the abolition of slave trade? Africans. So if you think your enemy is out there but not within, well, ah, well, what can I do or say? I can't do or say much. I can only say. I don't know what you want to make of the day. If you want me to say happy, whatever, but we have no independence to celebrate. We are going to IMF. They give us stipulations and conditionalities, and we follow it to the T. We better go and beg these white people to come back and rule us. I think that would be better, and I also think that would be fair. Have a lovely day, and God willing, I'll try and come back. If not, in the morning of tomorrow, which I think will be a holiday. Ciao.